Hello, Space Cats! It's Christmas week, and I suddenly had the inspiration to draw the scene of the Angel Gabriel having a chinwag with the shepherds out on that hillside. Although I'm not a Christian, I did have a Christian upbringing. I went to a school that taught both Catholic and Church of England, so I sat through my fair share of RE lessons. I no longer have a church faith, but I do have a spiritual one, and I do like an angel. Lots of religions and spiritual faiths have angels or angel-like spirits. And to misquote Carl Sagan, absence of angelic evidence doesn't necessarily mean evidence of absent angels. Or something like that. Anyway, I decided to postpone that cosy cat picture and instead think about the shepherds and what happened on that evening. The cat will come next week. I also wanted to give you a really big tip when you are making an illustration like this. If you are using watercolour and you are painting a large area like this, then you can find that your paper starts to dry out before you've had time to cover it in your chosen pigment. One way to alleviate the problems that this can bring is to have the elements on the page interconnecting. That way you will have little pockets of areas to colour rather than great swathes of it. For example, in the bottom third of this picture, the people on the left are close to the jug and the cup on one side, and the other person is close to the angel's foot on the other. And then the angel's foot connects to the fire, and the fire to the sheep, and the sheep at the bottom are close to the jug and the cup. That way I have several little pockets of colour to fill in, rather than try to fill in around those tricky shapes, all before my paper and paint dries in places where I don't want it to. The upper 2/3 were a bit trickier because I knew I wanted the stars to have a sort of faded lightness around them and also around the angel. And for that reason I didn't take the water up to the edge of the stars or the angels just yet. That will come later. The stories surrounding Christmas have changed through being told over time and through translation from other languages. With that said, and no disrespect meant, here is my version of what happened out on that hillside. 3 shepherds were hanging out in the hills above the village of Bethlehem. They'd finished their day's work of shepherdising their animals, wafting them around the paddocks and grassy hillocks, and trying to prevent them from being eaten by antelope or polar bears. It was a nice place to sit, in the dark by the fire, looking up at the stars and the lights of the village twinkling in the distance. They were just settling down with a mug of ale and a bag of pork scratchings, when, lo and behold, the sky lit up. They were somewhat taken aback, especially when from within the light appeared a gentleman in a nightdress. Well, it wasn't a nightdress, it was an angelic white robe, but these guys had never seen an angel before, so you can see how that mistake might happen. "Holy bifocals!" said the first shepherd, the one with the goatee beard and the bald head. "What the heckity heck?" "Let me answer that heck right away," said the glowing messenger. "So, my name is the Archangel Gabriel, but you can call me the. Only joking, call me Gabriel." But who? What? How does that... what? stuttered Shepherd 2, the one with the chin-strap beard. "I can put your mind at rest about that one," said Gabriel. "I have come bearing amazing news, like the best news channel without the adverts." "What could that be, O divine being, for we are most afeared," said Shepherd 3. "So, here's the thing. A saviour has just been born to you." "Born to us? Us? But we are just humble shepherds. What will we do with a saviour?" "No, not you personally. Well, not just you, anyway. Listen, I'm trying to give you a message from God. Right, so, a Saviour has been born in the town of David, and he is the Messiah. The Messiah? Oh my word, this is worse than a saviour. I don't know what messiahs like to do. I mean, do they like to travel or play board games? And what do they eat? Are messiahs vegan? They muttered amongst themselves. Okay, wait. You are ruining the message with your fear. Everything will be okay. Right, come on, everyone take a breath. Come on, with me. Breathe in and out. Better? Okay, so there will be a Messiah, but you don't have to worry about entertaining him or finding a specific diet for him because he is a baby. The shepherds wailed. A baby? Oh no, we've never changed a baby's bottom before. And don't they have special clothes so they don't escape? Can I just interject here? Said Gabriel. The baby will be swaddled in holy cloths, so you won't need to worry about dressing him, and he will be lying in a manger next to a donkey whose name is Derek. Your job is to go down into the town and find Derek and the baby and just say hello. That's it. It's not complicated. You just have to go and welcome him into the world. Oh, and take your sheep too. And so, the shepherds made their way down to the bright lights of the town, a sheep under each man's arm, and found a newborn baby lying in the manger belonging to Derek the donkey, with the baby's parents, Mary and Joseph, surprised to see unexpected visitors. And Gabriel was right. They didn't have to worry about changing his diaper or finding escape-proof clothing, or whether or not he needed feeding. And if you are wondering what happened to the rest of the sheep out on the hillside with all the polar bears and the ferocious antelope, well, Archangel Gabriel and a mob of regular angels kept a look over them and used their divine powers to keep them safe until the shepherds returned. Just a little note about how to make the fire look good. I started off with just putting a little bit of yellow watercolour, and once that had dried I used the Inktense pencils in tangerine and in cadmium yellow just to make that fire come alive a bit more. So you can use the pencils slightly damp, or you can use them completely dry and then add water with a brush. Any way you do it, it looks pretty good, so I recommend this for if you're wanting to make fire pictures. And then I just used the pencils and the brush technique to go over some of the finer details like the sheep's faces and also a bit of the clothing of the men sitting around. And then the shading and the shadows that are underneath the creatures and the people, that's all done with watercolour. I gave the stars a similar treatment. Once all of that watercolour had dried properly, I used the Inktense pencils to give a little bit of colour in the star and then around the star, and these are all different coloured yellows. So if you get a set, you get about 8 different colour yellows, so I've used all of them, and I've paid particular attention to the Star of David, which is that humongous one in the upper mid right quadrant. I was trying to find the right word there. This was actually my second attempt at this picture, and this is the first attempt where I used the splattery toothbrush technique to make the stars, but I just didn't like it as much, so I decided to give it another go. What do you think? Do you like this version better, or do you prefer the one with the splattery stars? Comment below, because I'd be really interested to know what you think. Next week I will almost certainly be working on the cosy cat by the fire picture, unless a meteor hits my house or a plague of locusts eats all of my peanut butter. Until then, Merry Christmas! Nanu nanu.